Namaste, Elevation Nation. Parker, what's up? How you doing?
I
Happy
see you
Fortitude 15
came
Thursday.
you came prepared today with your colored shirt of the new rebrand logo. It's looking very blue. It's looking good. Mine is like the off-color green. Maybe like we did this on purpose, but like I don't know. We're feeling like this new rebrand's working a little bit, Sam. What do you think?
I love it. I love it. It's a sneak peek though. Website's not launched yet. We got a lot more to come. So if you're not watching on YouTube, check it out on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe. If not, use your imagination in what we look like. But per usual, we look pretty damn good. We got an interesting topic for you today, though. One that comes from a concept in Instagram called the Daily Stoic that our dear friend and new elevator, Miles Grossman, shared with us as a conversation starter in our group chat on Instagram. And what better way to bring the crazy and complex minds of introspection between myself, Parker, and Miles than bring it to Fortitude and 15 and share it with the masses? We'll tag Miles in this. It's super interesting, but essentially there's a list of 30 short rules for a better life. And Miles sent it to Parker and myself and said, guys, read these. What are your top three? So I think today, Parker, we're just going to go through the top 10. We actually did this a couple of years ago with a different list of rules to live by that you read to me our senior year or sophomore year, I can't even remember, of college in the fraternity house. So we're going to do that again. We're going to start with the top 10 on this list of rules to live by and talk through them. Number one is focus on what you can control. I think this one is really important and something that a Stoic would certainly do. We have so many outside factors and concerns that we really worry about. And at the end of the day, we are only in control of our own mindset and actions. So we have to control what we can control. Parker, number two, man. What do you think?
I
What do you
mean,
want to, or
to
you have comments on this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a list of 30. Let's just go through them rather than go one by one, like things that pop out. I think that's the best way to do it. And we don't want to sit here and go through all of them, and all of them are really good. But to your point about the first one, it's number one for a reason because we often focus on things that we can't control. And sometimes we have to take a step back and be like, okay, is this truly in my control or out of my control? And if it's out of my control, is it worth spending my energy and time on? Oftentimes, maybe it's not. And once you can have that click in your mind and say, you know what, this really is not worth my time or energy, I can just do away with it. Then you could shift your mindset to look forward. Okay, let's take a step forward and actually think about those things that I can control. All right, let's keep going. I really like number five. I know you really like number five too. Value time more
Wait, wait,
than
wait,
money.
wait, wait, wait. What are we doing here? You're
We're
skipping
skipping
around?
around. Yeah, we're skipping
What do you
around.
mean? How are we going to keep track of this then?
We're gonna skip around. Say are some of our favorite ones. What are we gonna spend 3 episodes in 3 weeks on all 30 of these?
That was the plan. All right,
That,
fine. Skip around,
yeah,
man.
let's skip
I wouldn't
around.
have
Say
gone.
our
All right,
favorite
fine.
ones. We'll link
All right.
the thing in our Instagram.
All right. Go ahead.
It's the best way. If you want the list, it's in our Instagram, Elevation Nation. All right, number five, value time more than money and possessions. That's so interesting. It's so hard sometimes to think about that. But once you realize that time is not forever and time is very short, then you can realize do you really care for those physical things that you think make you happy? Or is it really, I just want more time to do the things that I want to do, spend time with the people I want to spend time with. It's a hard one, but it's certainly an important one.
Especially in our day and age, Parker, I think it's very easy in our society to get caught up in materialistic items. So I love that one. I'm going to bring up number 22. Define what success means to you. I think I've spent a lot of time figuring this question out and contemplating it. And I don't think I have a set answer, but I know that fulfillment and happiness and love are things that I'm looking for in my life. And that's what a successful life would be for me. And really taking a step back and thinking about what success means to you and not to your parents, to your friends, to society, I think is a really important exercise to do. So I love number 22. That was my favorite on the whole list.
I assume that was in your top three then with Miles.
That was number one. What was
That
number
was
one?
number one. All right. I really like number 10. Don't suffer imagined troubles. Man, that's so good. I think about my like troubles in my life, and yes, some are real and some have happened, and I'm like, okay, I can suffer, and I allow myself to suffer and go through those things because they either directly happened by decisions I made, or unfortunately, the universe just so happened to work that way. But think about all the other times we sit and we suffer, things that really just are made up in our head. What we think other people are thinking, how we think things might go if we make one decision compared to the other. It goes back to the number one point: focus on what you can control. What can I control in this moment? Those are the things that we need to be guided by. And I use my handy dandy chat GPT resource to help me give me a stat about this. The clinical psychologist, Dr. Robert Leahy, says that about 85% of what we worry about never actually happens. Sam, that's crazy.
Wild. Look at you pulling out stats with AI. I love it. All right. Another one that I'm going to highlight is number 20. Parker, you know I love this one. It goes right into my mental motto: live curiously, don't curiously live. Number 20 is learn something new from everyone. I think it's so important to take a step back, reflect, and go about life learning from as many different people as possible. And I think they just bring new perspectives and new points of view and new ways for you to improve your life. And so I'm always trying to learn from as many people as I can as I reflect on how I can be the best Sam Panitch. So I absolutely love that one.
It's a good one. These are all really, really good. Can't wait for you all to see this list. Okay, we'll do a couple more. My next one is, where is it? Here we go. Number 14, there is always something you can do. Think about that. There's always something problem comes up, there's something you can do about it. You don't feel a certain way, there's something you can do about it. You want to go move forward in your job, I think there's something you can do about it. You want to wake up feeling better every morning, I think there's something you can do about that. There is something we can do to make changes in our life because we control the way we live our life. We control the way we feel our life and control the way we view the world. There's always something we can do. And yes, some things might be out of our control, back to point number one. But we still have the ability to do something to try to make a change in whatever it is that you want to make a change in.
We're getting deep. We're getting inspirational here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Anything less wouldn't be us. I think number 11 is one that I'm working on, and not necessarily one that I've mastered, which is trying to see the good in people, right? I think at the end of the day, you're the main character of your own story, but you're not the main character of everyone else's story. And so when you feel wronged or hurt or harmed, instead of taking it personally, try to see the good in those people, see the pressure that they're under, and be as empathetic as possible. Everyone is just trying to live their life the best way that they can and the best way that they know how. And that doesn't always make their decisions favorable for you or perfect for you, and you might get hurt in the long run. But at the end of the day, I don't think people are out there to spite or harm other people. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. So that was an important one for me.
I like the way you're going with this, is ones that have been challenging for us. I think number 28, saying no, and in the list it says, parentheses, a lot, say no a lot. That's really hard. That's really challenging. I feel like I always want to say yes to everything because, Sam, I mean, you and I are both people pleasers in a way, right? We want to please people because we feel as if it will make ourselves better. It gives us more purpose, or someone might think of us a certain way if we don't please them. But yeah, getting older, man, we value our time. Back to the second one I mentioned. And so we have to say no. We have to get better at saying no so that we have more time to spend how we want. And it's unfortunate, as you get older, you got to say no more. And there's always consequences for our decisions and how we spend our time and what we choose to do and not to do. But I think this one comes with maturity. And for me in particular, I feel like I need to get better at it. Saying no more.
I mean, Miles and I have many specific stories where I think he's helped me realize that I can say no, and vice versa. So it's a tough skill. You know that movie they made, Parker, Yes Man, a while ago? I don't know if you remember that movie.
Of course, I always like refer back to that if we're ever talking about saying no a lot or saying
Yeah,
yes
I
more.
mean, essentially, they should make a no man, just a guy that says no to everything and does what he wants at the end of the day.
Yeah, but at the
That
same
would be
time,
inspiring.
but it's so funny. We should say no more, but then I could also make the argument we should say yes more. But they're two different buckets. They're two different avenues. I'd
Well,
say
I don't know
no.
how you navigate that then.
It's
That is
challenging.
those are opposites. What are we supposed to do here? What's the advice for Elevation
I-
Nation?
I'm just saying you could make an argument that we need to say yes more to certain things, maybe things that push us to feel our fear a little bit, push us outside our comfort zone a little bit more. We got to say yes more to that. And we need to say no more to things that waste our time and energy. No more to things that you just don't want to do in that moment in time. And that's okay. There's two. I really think you can make the argument on both sides. You really could.
I hear you. Listen, these are incredible life lessons. I want to, we could dive into every single one for a while. There's certainly both sides to many of them, but I think having some time to reflect back on what are some lessons that you want to work on this year. I've heard, a mentor to both of us and a guy we look up to, Jesse Itzler, serial entrepreneur, health freak. He has themes for his year. And every year he comes up with a theme that he wants to do. And I think just like rules of life, finding a theme for your year is an interesting way to just set your intentions, see how things have changed, see what you value, see where you're putting emphasis on your actions, on your thoughts, and how you work with other people. And so I'm excited. Miles sent us this list. It's why we have a special triangle friendship there. Always working to elevate our mindsets, elevate our conversations. And I'm grateful that we got to bring this to Fortitude and 15 and Elevation Nation.
I'm always grateful for that. And I can't wait I want to bring more outside knowledge into our conversations. I think it's fun.
Heck yeah.
It's amazing. Like, we're reading a lot of books. Last week, we talked about our book takeaways. This week, we have an incredible list. Elevation Nation, send us things to talk about that maybe you're struggling with or made you think about a little bit deeper. We want to talk about that on the podcast, and we will not be afraid to give you a good shout out. So feel free to send those our way. If you have our Instagram, our TikTok, people are hyping me up on TikTok these days, Sam. We talked about that the other week.
You're famous.
Twitter, LinkedIn, text us, call us, FaceTime us, knock on Sam's door in DC, whatever it may be. All right, real quick, we got 1 minute for elevator shout outs. I don't even know their elevator number, but we've given them so many shout outs, but I have one fun little story in particular. Millie and Taylor from Stacked are absolutely crushing it, right? They were just at Wimbledon. They're traveling around promoting their amazing yoga mat, the Stack mat. But what's really cool for me is that I was in my gym yesterday and a woman was using a Stacked mat, and I just smiled with joy because that was so freaking cool to see some random person using Millie and Taylor's Stack mat in the city. It was like the little thing that just, deserved a nice little Elevation Nation shout out.
That is a perfect shout out and a great way to end the episode. Elevation Nation, until next week. Peace.